Hi everyone, this is Erum for Altenew. Welcome to Creative Coloring with Erum. Today's project features a more controlled version of the Scribble Spritz watercolor technique that I love and have taught previously. I will revisit it next week, hopefully, if the schedule allows, but for now, I wanted to show you this version. I will use Build a Flower Coral Charm stem set and heat emboss the flower twice, those little bunches and leaves a few times on watercolor paper in antique gold embossing powder. I was asked last time where I got this long strip of watercolor paper from. It's actually from a big sheet of watercolor paper, Tansen watercolor paper sheet. I'm sure you'll find rolls of watercolor paper in art stores. After heat setting it, I will cut one of the blooms and scribble turquoise and Persian blue pigment. I will then add little pigment of Desert Night watercolor near the base of the petal. Now I'll dip my water brush into water and then go over the petal and mix or spread the pigment a little. So it's the same technique more or less, but in a controlled manner where you can control how much of one color you want or where you want that color, if you want more blues or more purples. And you can go petal by petal with this technique. Just remember to dip your water brush into clean water because we need a lot of water to move the color just like the original technique. And now it all depends on you if you want the flower more turquoise or looking or more Persian blue. By the way, thank you for appreciating and liking the Scribble Spritz watercolor technique. I have had so many people share their gorgeous results with me. Even those who were not comfortable with watercolor before thanked me for sharing this easy watercolor technique, and it made me so happy. So thank you guys for sharing your work and progress. It really made my day. I'll leave you with a bit of music. I'll be right back. Now this is something that you should do before die cutting the images. I'll take clean water and with my paintbrush I'll add splatters of clean water onto the images. The result will be subtle since we've already added quite a bit of water when we were working on it, yeah? So let it sit for a few seconds and use a tissue to sop it up. It's there, the texture. It's subtle, but it's there. For the card front, I'll apply water to the panel, leaving the borders or the edges for a little artsy look. Then I'll apply pigment from jet black watercolor brush marker and spread it around to form a light color wash. Once I'm happy with the shade, I'll add splatters of the same to add a bit of texture while it is still wet so that the splatters bloom and spread. And then I'll dry this with the heat tool. Once dry, I'll add more splatters of the same and let it dry again. I'll add black paint splatters from the 36 pan watercolor set and then arrange my florals with foam tape. The leaves I'll just glue directly onto the card front. On the flower bunch, while I was attaching it, placing it, I noticed that the white of the watercolor paper looked too stark against the gray of background. So I'll cover the area with diluted jet black watercolor pigment that matches the background. Then I'll pop my sentiment and my card is ready. I hope you enjoyed this more controlled version of the coloring technique. This takes a little bit more time than the previous one, the original technique. I still like the original one a lot more because it gives unique results and it's easier and well, I like that better. Okay, see you next week. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.